about antagonizing the Gentiles, the whole notion of don't try to keep the Torah or lest Esau get really mad, right? You do this, remember? That's what he wrote. You go up to our bias, you don't know, Esau's going to get, it's going to cause anti-Semitism, right? Which, as we said, is nonsense because the Torah actually says you're supposed to keep the Torah, and that will keep the Gentiles from harming you. But if you say, I'm not going to keep the Torah, so you're opening yourself up to this. So it happens not to fit an important Torah principle, which is one that's stated in various forms. It's been misstated and sometimes stated accurately. It says Genesis 27:40. What does it say there? With achicha ta'avod, tells Isaac tells Esau, serve your brother. But it'll be when you will read, whatever that word means, then you shall take his yoke from off your neck. Now, I was just studying this week. Look in Das Mikra. Yehuda Kill had an interesting idea, which you don't find in other Mefarshim, because he's new. And he said, Tarid means if you would just go away. And he actually could find this. I think he's mentioned, Kuni says this. Tarid means when you move yourself around. If you would leave Eretz Yisrael, then you would not be dominated by Jacob. He's talking about Esau himself and Esau's descendants. So they moved to Seir. So they were not subject to Israelite domination. Okay, and there's other Mefarshim there. You could open up the Torah's Chaim. You could see what the classical Mefarshim say. When does Esau leave, or when the Edomites escape Jewish domination? Now, those are all fine Perushim. The problem is none of them talk about I guess a fundamental metaphysical relationship between what Esau and Yaakov represent. Okay? However, the approach taken by none other than Onkelos and Rashi and the Medrash, okay, which is really good, like the earliest classical ones, don't take this approach of talking about what is Esau's solution, how does he get out of Jacob's domination. It's to them, what is it? Rashi says it clearly, and Onkelos says it also very clearly. Onkelos adds a lot of words there. It says here that when it shall be that if Jacob's children violate the Torah or don't keep the words of the Torah, you shall cast his yoke from his yoke from your neck. Okay, and Rabbi Yossi Bar Chalafta is the one in Bereshis Rabbah says this also. If the Jews remove the yoke of the commandments from their own neck, so you can remove Jacob's yoke from your neck, and then you could give him Gezerah Shmad, and then you could turn the tables on him. Here it just says, remember Pshat, like most of the Farshim have in the Das Mikra, the Pshat of Esau escaping Jacob, and that's it. But the way the Medrash here has it, the way Onkelos has it, the way Rashi has it, they also say Esau will escape Jacob and turn the tables on Jacob. Gezerah Shmad, and Esau will gain dominance over Jacob. Now, of course, when the Medrash is talking about this in Onkelos' time, Onkelos was what? A Roman convert to Judaism. And in rabbinic thought, Esau refers to, of course, the Roman Empire and its successors, Christendom, the Western world, etc. And what Rashi and Onkelos and the Medrash are saying here is that when the Jews don't keep the Torah, so they will be subject to Gentile and mostly Western domination. That's what the pasuk means. Now, why is that important for our purposes? By the way, that's the one that people are with which are they're most familiar, even though it's one that's a little bit far from the Pshat. Why is Yitzchak telling this to Esau himself? It seems more like the later Mefarshim say Yitzchak is giving Esau advice about how to found his own national body outside of Eretz Yisrael that would not be getting in Yaakov's way. So why is this an important one theologically for us? Because it tells us that. What was that? Okay. I hope everybody's okay. This is important for us because it tells us that, wait a minute, Esau is dominant, right? Why would Esau dominate us? Because we are not keeping the Torah. And what Rabbi Shafrin was writing in the name of Agudas Yisrael was exactly the opposite. It was, Oy Gewalt, don't try to keep these mitzvahs, even though Hanukkah teaches, and by the way, just reading the Torah and the Mishnah, by the way, tell us that these are mitzvahs that are incumbent upon us even today. They're saying, if you would keep those mitzvahs, Esau's going to give you Gezeros Shmad. Esau's going to rise up and really give it to you. It's the exact opposite. If Esau is able to give it to us, it's because we're not keeping the Torah. Okay, whatever. I guess I would joke. This is a machlokes Avi Shafrin and Rabbi Yossi Bar Chalafta and Onkelos. Okay, but then again, it's not really his thing because he's just the mouthpiece of certain rabbinic groups. So I guess it's a machlokes the Achronim and the Tanaim. Which, by the way, in machlokes Tanaim and Achronim, we hold like the Tanaim. So we'll leave it at that.
We would like to encourage our viewers to share these videos with friends and send in your responses. If you would like to obtain Birkon Nusach Eretz Yisrael or invite the rabbi for a speaking engagement, please email us at office@machonshilo.org.